guys, how are we all? So I hope we've all had a good December and a good holiday if we've celebrated any of the holidays, Christmas or Kwanzaa or Hanukkah or anything else that's been going on. So even though it might have been a bit different this year, I hope you've still sort of managed to spend some time with family and friends where we can. So this is Coco Creates. This is my channel. So my name's Zoe, and this is a channel about cross stitch and a bit of knitting and other needlecrafts that I do. So there won't be any of that today. It was just going to be a cross stitch WIP parade, mainly because I have half of a bed full of stuff to show. I will take a picture before I start and pop it in so you can see how much stuff I'm going to be showing. So yeah, you might want to grab a coffee or beverage of your choice and we'll get started. So today is going to be a big WIP parade and plans for next year, some plans, because I haven't quite got them all worked out in my head yet. I'm going to be taking part in Magical Stitches and Literature, the Facebook group again. So I did it a couple of years ago, so when they had the sort of wizardry year, and then I think the year just gone they did Disney, and I'm not really that into Disney, and it was just a bit too much for me at the time, so I sort of dropped back out of that. But this coming year they're planning on doing Percy Jackson and something else, sort of that kind of theme. I can't remember what something else is. I really should have checked, sorry. But yeah, but I do have those books, the Percy Jackson novels, and I have been planning on reading them, so I thought, why not? So yeah, so that's going to dictate most of my stitchy plans for the coming year. So so that's going to dictate a lot of my plans this year, for sort of what I'm doing week to week, sort of day to day. Well, I say day to day, you know, each week I think there's going to be certain challenges to do, and they'll be related to certain projects or certain goals, so that's going to dictate that. But obviously there are a few sort of bigger goals that I want to get done this year. So I suppose my first two WIPs that I would show you, I haven't actually got them up here. I did leave them downstairs, and purposely because well, one, because they're heavy and I didn't want to lug them upstairs, but also I have them on the scroll frames and I have them rolled up, and I'm getting to the stage now where the amount that I've stitched is wider than the scroll frame, so even if I kind of unwound it a bit you won't be able to see it very well. So if you go back to my previous video, you'll see sort of obviously where I was there, because I did unwrap them both, I believe, in that video, so that you could see more of them. But I will pop in a couple of screen grabs from Pattern Keeper to show you where I'm at. So my first one is my supersize max colour Amazing Animal Kingdom from Haid. So it's Heaven and Earth Designs chart. It's the design is originally by Amy Stewart, and this piece, this is my massive piece. This is my biggest piece that I have. My long-term goal is to have this done in 20 years. Yeah, so my aim is to have it done before I turn 50. So I'm turning 30 soon, and I want it finished before I turn 50. That's my big goal. So yeah, so I worked out I need to do about 5% a year, which is a number, I think I'll put it here, how many stitches I have to do each year. So it works out to just under 4,000 stitches per month. And that's my goal. Now this past year I didn't actually reach that. I was about 10,000 stitches off of my goal. But yes, I think it was supposed to be about 3,500, but because I didn't meet this coming year, it's going to be 4,000. If you're not into the maths and that, then that none of those figures matter. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so the actual design is 999 stitches by 750 stitches, and I'm doing it 2/1 tent on 28 count. So that's that one. The coverage is not bad. If you look up close, yes, you can see the fabric through some of the stitches, especially through the Krynic. So the Krynic I'm only using one strand because two strands was way too bulky compared to the rest of the DMC, so I dropped down to just one strand. And you can vaguely see the fabric behind it, but the Kreinik is quite sparkly, so it offsets that. If you step back, you can't see it, and most people aren't ever going to get that close to my stitching to see it. Yes, I'm that close because I'm stitching it, so I don't mind. Then the other Haid that I have, so the big one, this is a regular size chart. This is Bath Time by Selena Fennick, so again charted by Michelle at Heaven and Earth Designs. This one is, oh, I forgot the stitch count of this one. It's 400 by 300 and something. I'll write that down here if you care to know. And again, my goal for this one is to have it done in 5 years. That's 20% a year. And I did actually reach this goal. So this is exactly 20%. Well, I think it's just over, but 20% of the design complete. So my aim is to have this one done in 5 years. You know, if I stitched on it every day, I could certainly have them both done a lot quicker. But, you know, I have other projects to do, and I like doing some of the, well, I say smaller. When I show you them, you'll probably think they're not very small, but compared to the Haid, they are. And, you know, I like to do a lot of those and at least get bits accomplished. So, so yes, that's why my goals for these two are quite big. So yes, this one is a mermaid in the bathtub, and this was the first Haid that I saw that I really liked. This is the one that I decided quite a while ago that I wanted, but because of its size I thought, no, I'm not going to get it yet. I'm going to make sure that I actually want to do it. So so yeah, I think I waited about a year before I actually gave in and bought the chart and kitted it up. But yes, so so like I said, I've done about a fifth of this design. So yeah, and I've just got into starting to see her face, so hopefully soon we'll be able to see a bit more of her face, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, so they are my two big ones, my two Heaven and Earth designs. I have got another couple of full coverage ones here, but they're not quite as big, I don't think. So hopefully. But yes, so where shall I start now? I haven't unwrapped most of these, mainly because of the sheer quantity I've got. If I take them all out of their packets, there's no way I'm going to be able to sync them all back up and pack them back in. So it might be, there might be some crinkle crackles, but I'll try and keep those to a minimum. So, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's go for this one. So this is one of my oldest WIPs, and this is my second oldest WIP. And as you can tell, it's in dire need of a wash. Sort of the fabric is quite stained around here where I first had it on a hoop, and then I managed to get a scroll frame that fitted it quite nice. So yeah, and this is the bottom. So I literally have this amount to do. So this is a unicorn, sort of in the night sky, and it's done 2/1 full cross on 22 count hardanger fabric. Now, so I originally started this working as a normal cross stitch. I say it's a normal cross stitch. I started it cross country, is what I mean. However, now I'm sort of combining cross country with parking. So you can see I've got quite a lot, some loose threads that I've parked here, where basically I'm sort of taking a small chunk of the design, working the one colour across that chunk, parking it at the end, and then going back and sort of working everything across. So yeah, so I've got the tail of the unicorn to do, which is quite colourful again, and then the rest of it is just the sky, which is the blues and the purples. And then, fingers crossed, I can wash it and get all of this sort of old staining out. However, I'm planning on finishing it, you know, quite close to the picture anyway, so there's not going to be much of a border, if any. So if it doesn't quite come 100% clean, it's not the end of the world. So yeah, so like I said, this is my second oldest WIP. This was, I can't remember where I got this from, I really can't. I know it was free design when I got it. It is no longer a free design. The website is a subscription website, so you pay so much a month and then you get access to a lot of her designs. I might be able to find where it is and jot it down, but if I can't, it's been, I mean, I say this is my second, this piece is 6-7 years old. That's how long ago I got it. So if I can't find it, I'm really sorry. But so one of my goals is hopefully to finish this one this year. So yeah, so there's one done. So I haven't decided where I'm going to put them when they're done. I didn't plan this all the way through, did I? Alright, so what's next? This is a Clouds Factory design. So this was a sale that they did a couple of years ago. However, this design is now available on their website, as all their others are. So I got the full kit for this. This is the kit fabric, which is a linen 36 count, maybe 32 to 36 count. So this is we're all humans, or we're humans after all, or something like that. So it's going to be 3 lines, so it goes in time. So it's like a timeline. So it starts up here with caveman, and sort of follows some historical events. I think there's the Egyptians here with their pyramids somewhere, the Knights of the Round Table, then there's the Great Wall of China that I've done, that's in the middle there. So here, the Gutenberg Press. What else have we got? Shakespeare here, and then I think that's Columbus with his ships, where he got lost on the way to India. I remember there's a few people that were changing that one, but I kept it in because I didn't know how to change things at the time, and you know, Columbus did impact history quite a lot, not for good, not necessarily for good things, but he is a historical figure. So one thing I am changing on this, which I am going to unpick this caveman up here, the colours of him, is I started to change some of the skin colours, because as far as I'm aware, I haven't looked at all the rest. This sale finished a couple of years ago. I haven't looked at all the rest of the pieces. I have the chart, but I just haven't looked at it that much. So as far as I'm aware, every single person on here is stitched in this same white skin colour. Now, everybody in history is not white. I don't care what anybody says. These figures are not all white. So my first change was for this man here, one of the emperors of China, the Great Wall of China, because, you know, people in China aren't white. That's not their skin tone. So I changed his skin colour so to be slightly more apt, so less pink. Now how I did that was very crude, so I didn't know where to find any skin conversions at the time. I since know that Lord Lytton has some really good skin conversions, which I've looked at for some of my mirabilias, which I'm planning on converting. But at the time I didn't know, so I really crudely, I just googled pictures of Chinese emperors. I just googled pictures, and then I took my DMC colour chart and I put my phone screen and the colour chart next to each other and basically just picked out a colour that sort of matched. So it had 2 colours because there was 2 different shades, and yeah, and I literally just did that. That is how I did it. So very crude, but it worked. And like I said, I'm going to be unpicking the white skin from these cavemen, because cavemen weren't the same white that everyone else was. Cavemen in the north were a lot paler because they didn't need the melanin in their skin as they travelled north. They needed less of it so they would get more vitamin D, because that is how the body works. That is the difference. So I am going to probably change their skin tones, because it's the same white skin, so you can't see it here very well. But you've got the big caveman, and then it goes back evolutionarily, so to the little caveman, and then a more of an ape-like caveman, and that. Now they sure as hell weren't white, so I'm going to be unpicking that and restitching that with a more appropriate skin tone colour. And then as I go along, I will do the same with other characters. If they're not white, I will be changing their skin colour to be what it was, more accurately. You know, I know that sort of William Shakespeare was white, so I've left him white because that's what his skin colour was. I believe Cleopatra's on here. Now I know that she wasn't white. She was Egyptian and had a skin colour to reflect that, so I will be changing her skin colour, because history is not white. So that is why I'll be changing that. That was my little soapbox there. I will step back down from that now. But yes, after my 5-minute lecture on one of my wigs, so that's that one. Oh, and that was the first piece I used the new Etoile threads on. Obviously they're not new now, but at the time they were brand new. So that was that one. Right, what have we got now? Oh, another Sal. So this is, I can never remember which one. Country Cottage Needleworks Sal. So this is their glitter houses. Now I did have to wait for some more of the gold metallic on this, so I have since got it. I asked for some more from and she sent it to me. So yeah, so I've done the first, well, apart from the gold in this last one, I've done the first 6 houses there. So again, this is on the called for fabric. I got the kit. So I believe again 32 count linen with a sparkle. So it is an opalescent fabric, in quite a beige brown, natural, almost like a natural linen with the sort of silver flakes through it. But yeah, so I've got 3 more houses to do at the bottom there. So again, that's just been put to the sidelines because I was waiting for that one colour. So because I didn't have that one colour, I had to stop doing all of it because that's how my brain works. I got nothing. So yeah, so that's that one. I can't recall the exact dates that I started some of these. Most of them were started in 2019 to 2018, 2019. If I have the dates, I believe they're written in my other notebook, which I don't know where it is because it's last year's notebook. So if I have the dates, I will drop them in. You know, if you want to know how long I've been working on them, then let me know. So, but yes, next. Oh, this one I started in 2019. This is Little Dove Designs. This was her High Street Sal. So this one was the Sal where I started to break all the rules. By that I mean I've changed every pattern that I've done so far. So there's going to be 6 shops across the street and I've made changes to each one. And I started this in Mania, so Mania 2019, and I did the first 3 during Mania, and then I started the last one, I believe Mania this year, when I did my Sal Mania. But yeah, so this was where I started breaking the rules. So if you go back to my Mania videos last year, you'll see close-ups of what I actually did if you're interested, or you can head to my Facebook page, Instagram to find them. But yeah, so there's the florists. So for this one I used French knots for the topiaries, lazy daisies for the daisies. Then I have my winery where, so this is on the 14 count Ada it's called for, but I actually did 1/1, so I split the stitches and put a teeny tiny cat in there. So that's Lucy, that's one of my late kittens, well, kitten's cat. She was 11, 12 when she passed. But yeah, so I popped her up there in the window. And then there's the fashion boutique. So now this one, I really need to get one of those boards that all you posh people have. Right. Now this one, I actually used fabric to make the dresses. So I cut the dresses out of fabric and stitched them on and to make the dresses. So yeah. So like I said, that's sort of the first Sal where I sort of realised that I could break the rules, sort of where I realised there were no rules in cross stitch, and you know, because there aren't. So you'll also see in one of my other WIPs where I've used something completely different for part of it, because yeah, cross stitch is made of crosses, but there's nothing saying that you have to do it like that. So you can use tent stitch like I'm doing on my big Hade, or you know, so like a tapestry, you can get a tapestry pattern and use that as a cross stitch pattern, You know, you can use embroidery stitches. You know, there's, if you want to do something different, there's nobody looking over your shoulder saying, no, you're not allowed. If you want to change things, feel free. Like, you are allowed. There's no rules. No. So, yeah. Oh, what's next? This is the Fantastic Fungi Sal from somewhere. I can't remember. I'll have to write it up here. But yeah. So this was over on her Patreon. Yeah. So was another sal. So they were doing different mushrooms, different fungi, sort of every day or whatever it was. So I finished 3. So I finished these 3, and then I was just starting this one up here. So yeah, this is on a 36 count piece of linen from Fabric Flair just in a vague green. That's pretty much the colour. Yeah, sort of a pale green, sort of woodlandy kind of fabric. So that was that one. And I believe, yeah, this one is done in CXC threads. So, so yeah, as opposed to the DMC. So in case you wanted a close up on the CXC there. It's very similar to DMC. I believe it's a cotton blend, there's polyester in it, so it makes it a little bit softer to work with. So yeah, so I'm not that keen on using sort of polyester, using on natural fibres, but I have them, so I'm going to use them. So next, this is, what is this? This is my Ink Circles Castle Walls. This is my start 2020 start, New Year start. This is an Ink Circles piece. So I'm using I'm using PR 147 and 069 from Silks for You. So they're the two colours there I'm using. Oh, they match my nails. Ooh, look at that. So yeah. So I'm using silks. So I'm using 1 strand of silk over 2 on the. This is a 36 count even weave in cloud grey from Fabric Flair. And that is how far I'd got. So I was hoping to get this one finished in 2020. Obviously I have not got that finished. As you can see, I'm just over a quarter of the way around. So a quarter would have been sort of from there sort of down. So I'm over a quarter of the way around. But yeah, so I'm just doing all the borders in the darker colour and then all the inserts in the 147. But yeah, so that's another piece. So hopefully I'll get that one finished this year instead. But yeah, maybe not. So, oh, we've done one little pile. On to the next pile. So if you're still here, so, oh wait, we're only like 20 minutes in, that's not too bad. So let's see. So next one I have is another SAS. This is another Ink Circles. This is Ink Circles Mysterious Adventure Project, or MAP. This is their MAP cell. So I said not very far in this one yet. I've done the border and the coastlines, which was actually the bulk of the work, I think, was doing those. So I've done my little compass rose there, that's over 1. And I've got, let's see, a lighthouse that was over 1, a mermaid that was over 2. So I sort of flitted around between stitching over 1 and stitching over 2, depending what relative size I wanted the things to be. So again, the little boat there, that's over 1. The narwhals are over 2, but I've done like a long stitch or back stitch for the horns of the narwhals, so that they would come up a bit better, you know, more narwhal-y. So yeah, so one. I've done little flags there. So each one of these flags represented a letter, so that's my name, ZOE. But yes, oh, and the flags on the ship were numbers, so they're 20 for 2020, even though I didn't finish it in 2020, but that's a memorable year, so we'll leave it at that. So this SAL was where you sort of rolled a dice to choose your different elements, so to choose which border you'd have and where you which direction your coastlines would go in, which was quite fun. So I'm actually planning on another one of these, even though I haven't finished that one. I'm already planning another one to do. I've already got my island mapped out though of how I want it, and then I'm gonna add pieces in. So you know, when I finish that one, I will go on to the other one. So, oh, what's next? Oh, a little Christmas one. So this one is Peace Dove, so by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It's just a little Christmas dove there, and this was started at one of her little retreats we did. So yeah, so that's all I got done. So most of the bird was done, and its wing, and I think I was just finishing its breast and then its wing, and then just the holly to do. Is it holly? No, mistletoe. Some sort of twig. But yeah, so you know, hopefully that will be done for Christmas next year, because it wasn't done for this year, and I'm not sure how I'd finish that. It's sort of quite a round design. It's made quite round with the snowflakes and that, so I might finish that into a little round ornament. Maybe. So yeah, so that is that one. Next one I've got is another SAL. So again, this is done on some Fabric Flair. No, this is done, yeah, Fabric Flair from Lakeside Needlecraft. So this is exclusive fabric for this SAL. So it's a 36 count even weave, and it's their Woodland Animals SAL by designed by Doreen Jones, I believe. So I just about finished the first animal there, which was an owl. So I believe there's 8 animals or something going along. So making a few different changes just as I go. So the border, instead of it being in tent stitch, I've just done it with one thread. The animal's done with two strands over 2. So yeah, so just changing little bits as I go. Just sort of give the effect of that one. But yeah, so that's how far I got with that one. Oh, there's the needle. Right. So yeah, not very far. I think that one I did in my Salmania 2020. So next one. So this one is Harriet Salt 1886. This was the first Hands Across the Sea sampler that I bought. Now when I looked at the design, I didn't think much to it. I was like, it's got velvet in it. However, my brain's gone. Nicola Parkman, so the owner of Hats, she did a video on showing the actual design, and that's when I fell in love with it. So I'm stitching this 1/2 on a 56 count fabric, which is so tiny. This is almost like fabric you'd use for surface embroidery. So yeah, so I must admit, I think I did use my magnifier for this, I think. But yeah, so I got A, B and a little bit of the C started. So there, teeny tiny stitches. So, and I'm using silk again from Silks For You, and this is PR148. So this is blues and purples and pinks. It's a bit more muted than it's showing up in the camera. So yeah, I can't get it anywhere to show. But yeah, so that's a little bit better, I suppose. But yes, so that's what I'm stitching that one in. Partly because I just didn't like the red. I just didn't like, you know, I just didn't like the red effect. Sorry. But yeah, but since then I have got a few more hats. I believe I've got 3 more, two or three more now, that I'm working on or starting or have started. No, I haven't started. I've kitted. Kitted to work on. So yeah. So then the next one. This is another Sal piece that I started in May, and I did part of the owl. So this is Caterpillar Cross Stitches Autumn Tree Sal, Hello Pumpkin. So then the owl sort of sits in the middle somewhere. It was a mystery sale, so the pictures are blurred out one, I'm afraid. If I have a decent picture, I will insert it here for you. Right, then this one, again, I'll have to put a picture in because this is all I've got. This is a Teresa Winsler. This was her freebie, so it's available on her website. It is a Tempest Dragon. So it's a dragon in a teacup, and majority of it's blends. So this is done 2 over 2 on 32 count, I believe. Just a random piece of white 32 count that I found. So I think this is the tip of his tail, and that's his chest there. But yeah, so this project I was going to work on it. I think one day a month I'd planned on doing that. However, it ended up just being sat up here, and this is the one that I do in the night when I can't sleep. So that's that one. So next, so this one is the dimensions. Ooh. So this is gold petite, so Voyage at Sea. So I got, and it's just a tiny little start in white. I don't know why I picked white. I think because that was nearer the middle. I don't know which way up it goes. Yeah, but there's about 12 stitches right in the middle there in white that you can see. So that was my teeny tiny start on that one. So, let's see. Oh, this one is Rendell Designs from Boffy Threads. Sorry. And I've got 3 or 4 of their kits to start. So this was the Little Fox's afternoon nap. So 3 Baba Fox cubs. And again, so this is on the printed Ada, so I believe it's 14 count, sort of pre-printed with the dots pattern. And I've done in the middle white stitches. Again, I don't know which way it goes. This one I would have started actually with, if it's got the that bit, whatever you call that bit, I always start with that at the top, so that's the way it goes. What's that bit called? No, nothing. Can't remember. So let's see. This one I've got. Now this one was gifted to me. I believe this is a Dimensions kit. So the silhouette there with the fairies. And it's stitched on black. And I've just started that bottom little corner there. Let's hand behind it. So in the blues. So tiny little start just in that bottom corner. So this pattern I was gifted from and I inherited quite a few of her old designs. So yeah. So I can't quite vouch for where they all came from, I'm afraid. So did I start? No, that's not even been started. What's that doing over here? Right. Oh, this is Place du Marche. So it's a, sorry, it's a Michael Powell triptych. So you bought each one of these shops separate. So I'm starting on this left one, which is the restaurant, and then you've got the florists and another shop, grocers I believe. Yeah, doesn't say, meh, but yes, so that's where I'm starting. And I am stitching it all on one piece just like that. So it's a big old piece. This is on 28 count even weave, and so yeah, this is quite a big full coverage one. I'm doing, well, it's near as damn it full coverage, and yeah, and so I've just started at the top there, so just with the background. So I think this is about the edge of the first panel, so there we go. So that's that one there. So next is Turkish Angora. So I did finish one of the other DMC cat designs. I believe I've already shown that. This is the Turkish Angora, so I have 3 of these. I believe it was a set of 4 they did. But yeah, and that's how much I've done of that. So just starting in the top corner, sort of just before the ear. So yeah, and I'm working down. So again, that one I'm doing sort of parking way. The reason I tend to use parking now is because I like the idea of finishing all my stitches at the front and not having to flip my frame back and forth. And I find when I'm parking, by default, I use that method. So do that. So and then we've got now this. Now I'm not sure what to do with this one, so I might want some advice with this. Now I started this one. This is my actual oldest piece now, and I started this maybe 10, 15 years ago. Well, let's see, when was the book released? So it is a BJ McDonald book, and it was released in 2003, so nearly 17, 18 years ago. So it's in the Gifts of Cross Stitch book, and it is Flower of the Month Afghan. So it's big Afghan with all the different flowers in. And I thought, oh, I could do that. That was cute, you know. So I got my big Afghan fabric that I've since found is super soft, and I hate the fabric. And that is how fast. It's an 18 count Afghan with the sort of weird borders in the middle, and that is how far I'd got on January's. So I've done the majority of this flower. There's another flower up here to do, and then all the back stitch on it. Now I'd colour converted this one purely because I didn't have the threads and I didn't have access to any threads at the time. So I changed all the colours to much darker than what they were originally charted for, and I don't know if I like it still now. So yeah, so my predicament is, do I carry on? So do I just finish January's, cut it out, you know, chop it out and sort of frame it, or finish it as is, because January is my birth month, so you know that would make sense to do. Do I, you know, carry on and finish the whole Afghan, or do I find something else to put on it, on these squares? So yeah, now it's not, like I said, it's got sort of properly finished squares each border, so I couldn't do a full design like the Stone Creek Stitch Works ones that Julie and Alicia are doing over on Stitching at the Cabin, and the Halloween one that Stitchy Witch 42 is doing. Stitchy Witch, Audrey. I may have got her name wrong. Stitchy Witch. But yeah, so I won't be able to do that. So what could I do? with it. Do you think I should carry on? I don't know. Yeah, what do you guys think? Or do you think I should unpick it all now, so frog it, or start stitching on another one and then actually stitch the proper colours? Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm at a complete loss with that one. So that one's always just sat. And I keep forgetting I have it because I don't know what to do with it. So. Anyway, let's carry on. What is next? Oh, okay, so this is another gold petite. So this is treasured seashells, or seashell treasures. And so I've done part of the border, or part of the background, sorry. And then I was just working on that first shell there. So that first little shell there was what I was working on. So that's one of my, I believe that's the smallest count piece that I have outside the Peace Dove Christmas one. So you watch, I'll find another small one now, won't I? So this is another tiny little starter hat. This is from Masha Brovko, or Maria. Cute Patterns by Maria is her Englished version of her name, which is a ship in a bottle with some creatures, which I thought was quite pretty. So I have just started with the sort of bottom of the pattern there, so the shadow and the sand at the bottom, so nothing too exciting. So this is done on a 36 count even weave of unknown origin. Ooh. Right. Next, oh, another one from Masha. So this is Full Moon. So it's a witch and a fox in the moon. Now I'm changing the fox, so I'm getting rid of his pointy snout, and that's going to be a cat. So, and that's what I've done so far. So this is on Picture This Plus linen 36 count, and that's how much I've done. So just working on the moon. So yeah. So that's that one. Next is Jan Lynn needlecraft, so A Virtuous Woman. This is a Proverbs 31 sort of sampler. And yeah, and I took this one on Girl Guide Camp to start, because I thought I can start the border. Border's nice and easy. It's just 2 stitch squares. So 2 stitches by 2 stitches, sort of alternating all the way around the border. So it's like, that's easy, I can do that on camp. So that's how much I've done of that one, so not very much. So I started that one about 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago now. What's in here? This is my oldest piece. Well, apart from the Afghan, this is the piece that I normally have as my oldest. I don't have a picture for this. This was a pattern that I made myself on Jane Greenoff's Pattern Creator. So I took a pattern, free to use pattern off of the interwebs, and free to use design, sorry, and then made it into a cross stitch pattern. So it's a swan in the moonlight with the moon and a tree, and it's all shadows, and it says Moonlight Inspirations at the top, and that's how much I've got there. So it's, I think once I finish this, the moon, it would be a quarter of the design done. So I'm about 20% of the way through this one as well. So this is another full coverage I've got. So this one's a lot smaller, obviously, than my Hades. This is on 18 count, 2/2, full cross. And have I got the stitch count on the pattern? Let's see. So I printed this out and stuck it together myself. So it's 4 A4 pages, and what is it? So 300 by 180. That's that. That's the pattern. So yeah. And that's literally all I have, is that one copy of the pattern. I don't have it online anymore. I have nothing. So I'm photocopying little portions of it to work from, so that I don't damage the only copy of the pattern that I own. So yeah, so that's that one done. So I would like to get that one finished. This is you know, one of my oldest pieces. So next is Sunlit Fox. This is a dimensions, regular dimensions kit. And oops, pull all the threads out there as well. So, and I've done, so there you go, just starting on his thigh, I believe. So it's sort of this piece here that I've started on. That's that bit there. Right. Oh, it's quite a heavy needle minder on that one. So next, oh, by the way, all of my project bags are Love You More Studio Co book covers, book sleeves. I use Michelle Bendy Michelle at Michelle Bendy Stitchy. She has a discount code because she is one of their but yes, so I use her discount code. So head over to her videos and you should find one over there. So this is another Rendell. So this is a hedgehog. It's called Awakening. And again, this is on the 14 count stamped fabric that comes with the kit. And I've done that little bit in the middle there. Wee little bit. So I think a lot of these I started because so this was a kit that I wanted this ever since I saw Brian over at Blitz Stitch It. I'm not as keen on some of the other designs, the spring, summer, autumn, but I might do them after I've done this one. So this is the winter sampler design. So again, it's a journaling kit. And this was, again, I inherited this from somebody who she had already started it, but she started it right in the corner of the kit fabric. And she'd made a couple of mistakes, and I thought, oh, shall I carry on, shall I not? And I thought, no, I'm going to redo it and you know, restart it myself on some even weave. Mainly because it was, I think it was originally done on Ada. Yeah, 14 count Ada, and a lot of the stitches are, there's a lot of half stitches in here from what I remember from Brian doing. So I've just started on the little countdown thing there. So yeah, and I did have this snowflake bit done, but I'd made a mistake, so I had to unpick it all. So, and then I never picked it up again after I unpicked all of that. I was just like, no, it's not my friend now, and I put it away. So yeah, I think I can't remember what the mistake was now. I'd done something and I couldn't fix it because that border goes all the way along and it was going to be too much effort. So right, this is another pattern that of unknown origin. I believe this is a soda stitch design, but I'm not sure. So it's Tea Time. I also have another one that was gifted. She gifted me 2 as a set. I think the other one's Coffee Time or something. So I've just got a wee start on that top corner there. One thing I am going to be changing on here is there's milk and tomato there. Now, I don't understand why. You've got tea time, so you've got some cake, you've got a coffee cup, you've got a teapot, you've got some cookies, you've got your jam and bread, and then you've got milk and tomato. I don't understand that. Is that some from another country that you have that together? And I've just never heard of it. So, but I'm planning on changing that. I'm going to be mimicking this little jar of strawberry jam. I'm going to put that over the milk there, so replacing the tomatoes, and change the colours and have it as a jar of honey. So it'll be milk and honey. So that's my plan for that one. So there. So again, that was a gift from a friend. I don't know where she got it from, I'm afraid. But yes. So, oh, this is my favourite ones. This is my Marie Curie piece. If you want to learn about Marie Curie, go back to my previous video. But yeah, it's Portrait of Veronica. So the reason I'm doing it is because radium glows, radium is green, sort of all associated with each other. So yeah. So, and I have now done up to this part. So I'm doing the skin over one. So that's the top half of a dress nearly complete. I think there's another bit here to go. Oh no, that's it. So it's the top part of a dress done apart from the beads, and this piece in the middle, which is a different colour. So this is the lighter piece of her dress that comes in there, and I'm just starting on her skin, which I'm doing over one. So yeah, there we go. So that's my first mirror, Billy, that I've started. I have about half a dozen other mirrors that I want to do. They're sort of waiting for me to finish that, but yes. Right, my next one is in another kit. This was a piece I started on soluble canvas. So it is John Clayton miniature, so of Charlotte. So I really love the colours on this piece. There they are, they're tucked in there. It's like, where are all the threads? Things. But yes, so, and this one I'm stitching on my old work apron. So I used to work at a hobby shop, so, and I'm stitching it on the bottom. So I've got soluble canvas there, and that's what I got to on that piece. So yes. One of the cats just decided to jump on the bed and knocked my frame that's precariously stood with my tripod on. So. Right, but yes, let's carry on. So what's this? Oh yes, this is Kingdom of Books by Make Your Own Hands Designs. So it's done on there. Now I'm doing this on the kit fabric, which I since regret doing. I wish I'd done it on a very, a coloured piece, so I wouldn't have to stitch this top bit, but I've done enough now that I'm not changing my mind. So this is done 3/1 on 14 count, on the 14 count Ada. And that's how far I've got. So I've got that middle block done. So this through the gates, this was done 1/1. Yes, 1/1. So, oh, but yes, and then the rest of the books. So I just need to start on the actual books now. But yes, so that's that one. So yeah, so I've just done that middle piece just there. Right. I'm nearly at the end. I promise. So, oh, this next piece. Oh yes, I've forgotten I'd had this. So this is my chessboard. This is from Doodlecraft Designs. So it is designed to be a working chessboard as well. So I'm hoping to finish it under, not the glass, but the Perspexy stuff. So, and yeah, and it's all black work, different black work pattern in each square. So yeah, that's as far as I've got. So I'm using the DMC Coloris colour 4515 to go all the way around, and it's I'm using 2 strands for the sort of borders of each square, and then 1 strand for the actual black work itself. So yeah, so I'm really quite quite enjoying doing that one, doing all the different stitches, even though I haven't picked that one up in, you know, almost a year. So let's have a look. What's this one? This is my other full coverage piece. So this is a Shiny Suns cross stitch, and this is 3 baby dragons. So it's in grayscale. So it's 3 baby dragons with a book and some candles. So and I'm doing this on 18 count Ada 2/2. So when I can unwrap it, there we go. So that's how much I've done so far. So yeah, so this bit was all solid black, which I believe was one of the challenges at some point, was to work on 310. So I was like, oh, I've got loads of black in this, so I just did all the black all the way down. And yes, this one is quite confetti heavy, and I miss not being able to do it on Pattern Keeper now that I have Pattern Keeper. However, this pattern is only in paper form. I know now that there is a way to convert, like to scan the paper charts in and work it out. So I'm going to have a look at that and see if I can do that with this design, because I think that would make it go an awful lot faster. So that'll be one of my jobs for this year, this coming year. So yeah, so this one is Cats in a Row, again unknown origin. So, and I've just done that middle cat there, so I've just started on that one. So again, this was another one that I was gifted, and this is the last one that I was gifted from someone, sorry. But yes, that's that one. And second to last one is from Ultimate Cross Stitch Travels book, or magazine, you know, big ass magazine, and I'm doing Maps and Mythology by Maria Diaz. Yeah, so it's that piece there, and I'm doing this over one on, it's 32 count I believe, and that is the outline of part of Africa. That's literally all I've done. So yeah, so that was my goal for that one. That was the first piece I'd done on teeny tiny fabric, but at the time that was the biggest piece of fabric I had, and I wanted to start it, so I thought, yeah, we'll go for that. Right, so now my last WIP is more of my current one. So this is from Autumn Lane Stitchery, and this is their Dark Queen of the Seas Sal. So let's see, now I have done the explicit version, so I will show that, and then I will cover her up. So if you don't want to look at her, then I will cover her up, because I wanted to talk about her a bit more. But yeah, so here she is. So there she is there. And so that's 3 months of pieces done. And her hair, I promise you, is not that glowing. It is not neon hair. Right. So let's see. I'll put that there. There we go. I'll pop the needle minder on her chest if you didn't want to look at that. So yeah. So her hair isn't neon, I promise. It's 600s, 601, 602, 603. But yeah, it's... Have I got anything to offset the white? No, that's not helping. Well, it's not that colour, I promise. You'll have to just trust me. So, but yeah, so there she is. So I've done all her skin 1/1, including her face, which looks a bit odd at the minute because she's a bit crinkled. But yes, So all of her skin is all over one. So I recharted, well I didn't rechart it, but I recharted it in my head as I stitched to sort of smooth the lines. So rather than just doing 4 crosses to every stitch, I sort of smoothed the lines as I went, so that they would flow better. So yeah, and then obviously her dress or suit is over 2, and so are the fishies. So yeah, so this is using the called for fabric from Under the Sea. So I bought the kit, so it's the called for fabric, even weave 36 count. No, 32 count, I lied. Actually, it could be 36. No, 32. Yeah, so that 1/1 was hard work. But if you'll also notice, the hair is not cross stitch. So this hair is done in sort of a long stitch, so using a technique called needle painting or thread painting. So basically what I did was I followed Aaron's on the chart, so I followed the sections that the crosses would have been in each colour. So I outlined the sections, you know, in each colour, and then filled in with just long stitches, so to make it look like hair. So, and I worked the stitches in the direction that the hair would have gone. So so I sort of imagined if the hair was flowing, which direction it would have gone in, and then did my stitches in that direction. So yeah, so there she is. She really doesn't have bright coloured hair, but yeah, the pinks are, like I said, the 600 range, so 600, 601, 602, and the teals are 3810, 3808, those colours, if you want to have a look. But yeah, and these needle minders are sort of with the kit as well. So I bought those from Cassie's Needle Minders, so they're Etsy store to match. But yes, so, and that is my last WIP. Yay! So I don't know, because it stopped partway through. When I dropped the camera I had to stop it. So I don't know how many WIPs that is. I probably would have kept a tally somewhere on the screen, because I need to count them up. But yeah, that's all my WIPs so I've done over the last few years. So as for my goals for this coming year, so my stitchy goals, so I want to, my 2 big heights, I want to continue with my goals from them. So by the end of 2021 I want to have got to 10% on the Supersize Max colour piece, so the Animal Kingdom, and 40% on Bath Time. So that's my goals. So I believe each month I have to do about 4,000 stitches on each of those to achieve that goal, which is about 8, I think it worked out to about 900 stitches a week, but I think I just rounded it up to 4,000 a month for ease. So then this SAL, so the Dark Queen of the Sea SAL, my goal is to keep up with this SAL. I've never kept up with a SAL. None of my other SALs have been kept up with, as you noticed. So with this SAL I want to keep up with. So the first of each month is when the pattern drops. I say the first of each month, it's actually like 3 o'clock in the afternoon it drops for me because I'm in the UK. So it's normally from the 2nd of each month I get that, and I can get working on that one. A couple of little smaller pieces I would like to get finished. So Peace Dove, I would like a finish on that one. The unicorn, that first piece that I showed you, I would like a finish on that one. So, and like I mentioned in my last video, Amanda, is it Amanda? Oh my gosh, I've said Amanda, now I'm like, is it Amanda? If it's not, I'll put her channel name up here anyway, because I'm pretty sure it's not Amanda. Andrea C cross stitch, Andrea C Heart cross stitch. I'll put it up here. But yeah, but her plan, how she works, is she rotates. So she works on her oldest piece, her smallest piece, and then a gift. So I'm assuming a piece that she's doing for a gift to gift to someone. So I thought, oh, should probably alternate between them as well. So I've got my big Hades, so it's those two projects, my Dark Queen of the Sea Cell, then I've got and then I could sort of my fourth project of each month for the fourth week in effect, even though it wouldn't take me a whole week to do on all those, I hope. So I could either work on my oldest project or my smallest project, and I'd sort of flip each month. So if in January I worked on my smallest one, then February I'd work on my oldest one, and sort of rotate like that. And I thought, well, hopefully then my oldest one, which I'm using as the Moonlight inspiration, so the swan in the Moonlight piece, that's what I'm classing as my oldest. So hopefully that will get some progress. And then my smaller pieces like the dove and the seashell treasures and the unicorn, because even though while it's not small, it's only got a small portion left. So hopefully I'll see progress on those as well. But then a lot of what I stitch ultimately would be determined by the Magical Stitches group. So I'm hoping to weed all those pieces in as my focus pieces each month. And then I'll work on other WIPs as needed for the goals. Now my goals, I'm not planning on starting anything this coming year. I do have quite a few pieces ready to go, ready to be started. But I don't want to start any because I have more than enough WIPs here. I have WIPs of every type, every size. You know, I've got WIPs that are just black work. I've got ones that are full coverage, ones that are not full coverage, ones that have specialty stitches, ones that have beads, ones that don't have beads, ones that are big, small, on 14 count, on 18 count, on 56 count. I have samplers, I have not samplers, you know, I have every WIP I could possibly need. So I'm hoping that I won't be starting any, but you know, all best made plans. It's like I said, so caveat is, you know, I don't want to start anything until I've finished something. That would be a nice goal to have. However, if I'm doing a piece for a gift, then that would be a start. You know, or if I lose my stitchy bug and I'm feeling a bit rough, I might pick up something new to start. So, you know, I'm allowing that. So one challenge I'm setting myself for is not to buy any more charts. So this is on my WIPs. I have about this amount of projects kitted and ready to go again. And then I have about 20 years worth of magazines that I've gone through. So I have sort of 2 ring binders full of patterns from magazines. I have other magazines I haven't gone through. I have books on my bookcase of patterns. You know, I've got probably 10 to 15 books of patterns that I haven't even looked at, I haven't even started. So I'm going to aim to not buy any patterns this coming year, with 3 caveats. So one being, if it's part of a set that I'm already in and buying. So like the Dark Queen of the Seas, if he does any more add-on packs, I'm allowed to buy those. And there's a couple where, like, I've got I think I've got his Spring Lady design, again, Autumn Lane Stitchery. So when he brings out the summer, the autumn, winter, I'll be buying those. So that's one. So if it's an extra part of what I've already got, that I'm already doing. 2, if it's a charity pattern. So if it's a pattern where the money's going to a charity that I support, then I will buy that because the money's going to charity. And 3, if it's a Hands Across the Sea design, because I might have to buy her Queen of May when it comes out again. So I don't know what it'll be, but I reserve the right to buy it if I like it when it comes. So that's what I do, because I know some of her patterns she also does limited print runs, so I do reserve the right to buy one of hers. But at the minute, they're the only 3 caveats that I've thought of over the last few weeks. So that's what I'm setting as my goal, is that if it doesn't fall into one of those 3, I'm just going to bookmark the pattern and sort of come back to it at a later date, so in 2022. And then obviously if I still want it when I come back in 2022, then I can buy it. But yes. So I suppose also if it is a limited edition pattern, I might have to break the rules for that if it's only going to be done for a small amount of time. Might have to break the rules for that one, but I will see when that comes. So yes, so that's all my WIPs. That's sort of my plans for next year. So now my job is to go back through all of these and write them in my new journal, so this year's journal, and take lots of pictures of all my progress so that I can upload them onto the Magical Stitches Facebook group. So that is my goal then. And I am going to have a giveaway today. So like I promised in my previous video, I went through all my magazines, I pulled out all of the patterns, I have some full magazines, I have some books, I have small kits, you know, the little freebies that come in the pattern, in the books, sorry, in the magazines that I'm not going to do, or that I've got duplicates of. So I have piles and piles and piles of those. However, my bed is now full of all my WIPs. So I'm going to stop here. I'm going to do what I said, so take all the photos of the WIPs, jot it all down, and then I'm going to come back and film the giveaway. So yes, so, you know, I'll say bye for now, but it'll be like 12 seconds, you know, between them. There won't be a break for you, but there will for me. So yeah, so I will be back in a minute with a giveaway for you all to celebrate the end of 2020. But yes, and hopefully Coco will make an appearance, and I'll have to go and have words for her and tell her she's got to come back up. But yes, so I will see you in a minute. For this week, these are magazines, patterns ripped out of magazines. So obviously if you don't want a pattern ripped out of a magazine, then don't enter, but since I had so many magazines, that's what I've done. Now I've picked 5 here. I wasn't sure how many to do, so I thought, well, if I pick 5 out, then hopefully there's something here that somebody will want. So the first one is this one. So this is a Tatty Teddy, or I think he's got a new name, he's a Blue Nose now. So if you want this design, just say you want the teddy. That's that one. So that one's out of Cross Stitch Crazy. Right, and then there's this one. Oh, this is on a, whoops, the back cover there. So this is 4 silhouettes of cities. So you've got London, you've got New York, Paris, and Hong Kong, I think. So if you want this one, put say the night, because it's at night time. So the one with the night scenes, or use the word night somehow. So then I've got this one. So this one is the 4 seasons trees. So I quite like the autumn one, but yeah, so this one, say you want to stitch the trees, and that's all 4 of those come together, so that's all 4 of them. And then got this one. This one's a little snow leopard. Where's the cover? There it is. So yeah, so say you want to stitch the leopard or the snow, put snow. So for that one, so yeah, he's quite cute, but I have so many of these animal designs, I thought I can't do all of them. So, and then lastly I've got this one, which is one of the portrait ones. So this is basically a cross stitch of that image of Ariana Grande. So if you'd like that one, just put that you'd like to stitch Ariana. And there we go. So hopefully somebody wants one of those. So I'll be folding those into an envelope to post out. I'll post them anywhere in the world. But just remember, if you don't live in the UK, it might take a while to get to you, because I don't know what international post is like at the minute. So, but yeah, so there they are. So thank you very much for watching, if you did watch through all my video. I think it was a bit of a long one, I think. So and I will see you next time. So oh yes, my next video will be sort of towards the start of February, so I'll probably say this one ends on the 31st of January, because then that gives me time to draw it, come out. So the end of the 31st of this month will be for this one. But yes, oh, Coco's come to help. Haven't you, Coco? Yeah, you come to help? There we go. So from us two, have a good January, and we will see you soon. So love you lots. Bye.